Welcome to a bonus episode of Agatha Christie, the ABC Murders. In this episode, I will show you the timeline clips. This is something that unlocks after you beat the game, and it kind of creates a little movie about all of the events that took place in this game. So I hope you enjoy it, and again, thanks for watching this playthrough.
When Franklin understands that his brother's inheritance is going to be stolen from under his nose, he decides to get rid of him. In order not to be considered as a suspect, he has the idea of including the murder as part of a series that the police will put down to a madman. Franklin uses Sir Carmichael's medical records to choose his victims as well as the ideal suspect, Alexander Bonaparte Cust, who was seriously wounded in the war and suffers from bouts of amnesia. Franklin writes the letters he will send me before each murder on his own typewriter in advance. He contacts Cust by letter and offers him a job. Cust is convinced that he is working for a hosiery company. In reality, it is Franklin that sends him his instructions, his goods, and even his typewriter. When we receive the first letter, Hastings thinks that it is a joke. As for me, filled with foreboding, I prefer to inform Chief Inspector Japp. Following his written instructions, Cust goes to Andover. He visits Mrs. Asher's tobacco shop and sells her a pair of stockings. After Cust's visit, Franklin, in turn, enters the tobacco shop. Mrs. Asher is not suspicious of the murderer, whom she takes to be an ordinary customer. The old lady turns around to take a packet of cigarettes. She is beaten to death. We investigate the first murder with Hastings. No suspect has a motive. A few weeks later, we receive a second letter signed ABC. Chief Inspector Japp is informed. The victim's name should start with the letter B. Alexander Bonaparte Cust goes to Bexhill. He sells Mrs. Barnard a pair of stockings. Betty Barnard leaves her work. She's dressed to go out. The young woman is strangled on the beach. Betty was killed by the man who had arranged to meet her that evening, the seducer Franklin Clark. In Bexhill, Donald Fraser appears to be the perfect suspect for Betty's murder, but he has no connection with Mrs. Asher. 5 days after the Bexhill murder, Cust goes to Justin for his work. In the afternoon, Sauergret turns away a stocking seller. After dinner, Sir Carmichael Clark takes his usual walk. His brother waits for him, hidden behind a bush. The murderer leaps out from his hiding place and cuts Sir Clark's throat. The third letter arrived late. Franklin deliberately wrote a wrong address. In Churston, Thorogray and Franklin Clark are the main suspects. Back in London, Cust is seized by violent coughing fit and brings up blood. He stains his shirt, which later frightens his landlady. We receive the final letter from ABC. The next murder will be in Doncaster. The second general meeting in London highlights the common point between the victims, stockings, and a throat condition. Cust's landlady telephones Scotland Yard to tell them about her suspicions. Cust is arrested shortly afterwards in Doncaster. Franklin had planned a fourth murder in Doncaster. He abandons the idea after Cust's arrest. Cust confesses to the crimes he did not commit. He's an easy culprit. Too easy. Franklin Clark is unmasked. He is the true culprit and the man who manipulated Cust. And there we have it. Another case solved by Hercule Poirot.
So since I did promise a 100% playthrough, I'm going back and grabbing some of the trophies that I missed. You can't get them all in a single playthrough, so I'm going back and grabbing a few that I missed along the way.
Annoying.
You don't understand. My aunt was the only family I had.
So the first one that I missed is the Dolly mustache for making this lady cry during this interview.
If you are her only relative, you will be the only one who inherits.
Sir, my aunt was poor. And in any case, I'm not interested in any legacy.
And there's also a series of trophies called the Donkey Trophies for making mistakes throughout the game, and making this lady cry counts as one of the 8 total mistakes needed for the large donkey trophy.
Yes, that is what everyone says.
So the thing is that if you watch my playthrough, I've gotten pretty much every trophy except the ones that I'm going to show you here.
Hastings, please see this young lady home. I fear that it's quite impossible to finish our interview at present.
Poirot, what have you done? I've never known you be so brutal.
The really annoying thing is that as soon as I finished the game, it kind of reset the game and didn't tell me how many ego points I got along the way. It just reset back to 0. So I can't tell if I got all the ego points or not, but either way, we're going to get all the trophies.
What? It wasn't me!
The second mistake of the game that you can make for the donkey trophies is to accuse this lady of the murder and then accuse her of lying.
That's a lie! She owed me £1, I swear!
Enough lies!
It's not lies! But you're not quite as clever as what you think!
So here is the third mistake that you can make, and you can see that the murderer is unpredictable
The
to
killer is
Jap.
mad, so he's unpredictable. We can only hope that he will commit an error.
You surprise me, Poirot. I've often heard you say that even madmen follow a certain logic.
I didn't realize you had such a good memory, Chief Inspector.
Have you finished,
So
Poirot?
the fourth mistake
Chief
of the game
Inspector, many
is
questions
to
remain
say
unanswered,
that
but I
the
am
murderer
certain of one
here
thing.
is impulsive and that theft was a motive for the crime.
The killer is a daring opportunist. He met Sir Carmichael at nightfall on this deserted path and took advantage of the situation.
Impossible. You forget the trampled grass behind the bush.
Ah, c'est vrai. It proved that he was waiting for his victim.
Quite right. He must have known Sir Carmichael's movements well to plan such an attack.
This time, theft may have been the motive for the crime.
Theft? But we found a wallet full of banknotes on the body and a watch worth at least £50.
Certes. I had forgotten these details. So we can exclude the theory of theft.
Next up, there is another trophy that I missed along the way called
And sometimes
Dragon Smoke.
He used to give you a piece as a gift. Is that right?
Gift? What do you mean?
And you can talk about an ill omen of the brooch that this lady was wearing.
I am referring to your brooch.
This old brooch?
Mademoiselle, you know perfectly well. I am talking about the magnificent brooch you were wearing earlier.
Yes, you're right. Sir Carmichael did give it to me. He valued my work. How could I refuse? He would have been offended.
You have to bring up the dragon brooch twice in 2 conversations.
You took it off because
and
of
this
Lady
is the
Clark,
first one, of
am I
course.
right?
Indeed. Lady Clark does not like this jewel. Why upset someone who is so gravely ill?
So you can say here that the brooch is
I
frightening
see.
because of the dragon.
This jewel is sinister, do you not think? A black dragon. An omen of death. It is not surprising that it frightens Lady Clark.
Oh no, I don't think so. The Chinese dragon is not destructive. It's a positive symbol.
Have you seen any strangers hanging around in the past few days?
No. Nobody has been near Cumside.
Now in the same conversation, you can make the 5th mistake of the game for the donkey
Tell me what happened last
trophy.
night.
After dinner?
And you can kind
I
of
did some
ask her
sewing and then I
about
went to
Franklin.
bed. I was woken by the telephone at 11. I heard Franklin Clark speaking with the gardener. They left with some lanterns and they found the body.
So if you ask her her aversions to Franklin, that will count as a mistake.
Why do you hate Franklin Clark?
But why would I hate him?
Get to the point,
So
Mr.
the next
Poirot.
mistake
What do
is
you
to
want
call
from
this
us?
lady impatient. That is the 6th error of the game.
Megan, dear girl, please be patient.
Mr. Poirot, how dare you address me by my first name?
Please excuse me, mademoiselle. What I ask is that you search your memories. The murderer must have left some trace.
Yes, he must have prepared his crimes very carefully.
Tout à fait. He did not get to Bexhill at midnight in order to strangle a young girl whose name by chance starts with P.
Must we go into that?
The 7th mistake is to tell this guy that we don't have to talk about uncomfortable things.
No, of course. Not if it makes you uncomfortable.
Come on, Mr. Poirot. I imagine we all feel terribly uncomfortable about these murders.
It's true. We've to catch the killer, not be spared the gory details.
So if you brought up the black dragon in the previous
The
conversation,
brooch, Might
If you
have
bring it
brought
up
the
again
curse of
here,
the dragon
you'll
on you.
unlock the
What?
Dragon
The Curse of the
Smoke trophy.
Dragon? It's a good subject for a story. Mr. Poirot, what sort of world do you live in?
Bien. I must ask you one last question. Please reply frankly with either yes or no. If Lady Clark had died, would you have agreed to marry Sir Carmichael if he'd asked you?
How dare you ask such a question? Sir Carmichael treated me just like his daughter. And all that I ever felt him was affection and gratitude, nothing else.
Thank you, mademoiselle. I will not keep you any longer. Hello, the Black Swan.
The next mistake
Hercule
of the
Poirot
game
here.
is
May I
to
speak to
give
the
the
owner?
owner of the Black Swan a heart
Speaking.
attack,
Dick
and you'll
Dudley
also
Dunbar.
unlock the
How can I
trophy
help you?
Black Swan for
Is
doing
there
this.
Mr. Cust among your guests?
He arrived today. Shall I call him for you?
No, it is you I wish to speak with.
But who is this Cust?
A murderer.
A murderer? Under my roof? It's not possible. I don't believe it. Do you think that Cust might be dangerous? Oh, I do hope you're wrong. He seems so harmless, you know. Oh, yes, completely harmless.
Do not be fooled. He has already killed 3 people and you are next.
A murderer? Under my roof? Good God!
Dunbar, can you hear me? Dunbar! Hello? Dunbar has had malaise. That's all we needed. I'm calling the Doncaster police. I hope they get there quickly.
Hello, Poirot. We have some good news. The police in Doncaster have caught our man at the Black Swan Hotel. They're sending him here by train.
How is the hotel owner?
He had a heart attack. He was taken to the hospital.
Oh no. It is my fault. When I told him the killer was at his hotel, I should have been more considerate.
Come on, Poirot. You weren't to know he had a weak heart.
But I should have known. I saw his medical records.
Do not torture yourself, Poirot. His attack was not fatal thanks to the quick intervention of the ambulance team.
Please keep me informed on his progress.
You can count on me. I'll do what's needed.
I will visit him at his bedside when the murderer is caught. The white ammunition.
Finally,
are
the
blank
last
cartridges.
mistake of the game
The others are real bullets.
is to load the gun with real bullets and
The
unlock
revolver
a
is
bloody
loaded
ending
with
here
real
to the game.
bullets. I still have time to choose blanks.
So if you do all of these mistakes, you should unlock the large donkey trophy.
Voila, I entrust you with my weapon. It has hardly been used, it is almost new.
Don't come near me! I'll never let you take me, Mr. Poirot. Took the law into his own hands.
He had no right. He should have paid for his crimes. I should have expected what he did.
Come on, Poirot. Everybody makes mistakes.
Exactly. Hastings, if one day I sound pretentious, please whisper these 3 letters in my ear. ABC.
Alright, so if you watched all my videos, you should have all of the trophies unlocked. Most of these mustache trophies are story related and you'll unlock them without having to do much. Yeah. And again, unfortunately, I couldn't tell how many ego points I got. But whatever. These 3 eye trophies are done for observing everything, and I managed to observe everything that needed to be seen during my first playthrough. The neuron, synapse, and cortex, these are unlocked by connecting the dots, which again are required for completion of the game. The confessional trophies, unlocked by successfully questioning witnesses and all the other people. Four-leaf clover. God, I forgot where you get that one. But anyways, the cesium one. You unlock this by cleaning up some things like the flower pot. And a few other things. Again, the donkeys I just showed you. The purring tomcat and the cleaning tomcat, you get those by sitting on the chair a couple of times in Poirot's office. The gear trophies you unlock by doing all the puzzles and stuff like that. And of course the newspaper, stone, incense burner, you get those by reading the newspaper. A few more mustache trophies here, which most of them you're going to unlock again just by playing through the game. Nothing too special about these. Now you do have the Gandhi mustache for using the blank rounds in the gun. Makes sense. The Dolly mustache I just showed you, that's for making that lady cry. And then the Black Swan is for giving the dude a heart attack, which I also just showed you. So we're doing okay here. Got everything we need. Got some weird trophies here or there, but again, if you watch my videos, you'll see how I unlocked all of them. Black Dragon, for bringing up the dragon that I just showed you in a couple of conversations with Thora. Never mind, that's dragon smoke that I'm thinking about. The black dragon, you just have to observe a bunch of things. Alright, well, that's it. I didn't go into too much details here about each individual trophy, but that's because, honestly, I don't know how I unlocked half of these. They just kind of unlocked through my playthrough. Alright, see you guys.
Peace.